Rightio, guys. Welcome around the world. And for those that are watching locally in Tasmania or Australia, this is the last game in Court 1 for day 1 of the CMAS World Age Group Championships in Hobart, Tasmania. It's going to be a good matchup. We've got the Australian Under-19 women's team against the USA Under-19 women's team in Court 1. And with me on the commentary panel is Agnes from the USA. How are you going, Agnes?
Real good. We're excited about this game. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. It should be a good matchup. I know the Australian Under-19 women have been doing a lot of training, and I can only assume that that's the same for the USA Under-19 women's team. Can you tell us a little bit about the Under-19 USA women's team, Agnes? Have you met a lot of these girls?
Well, two of them I know real well because they're my daughters. And there's it's the first time the USA has hosted or sent a all-girls team to any world championship. Well, an age group world championship. So it's all new team. We've got a bunch of girls from San Francisco and Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and then my two are from Colorado. And they've been working hard. They try to get together as much as they can, but since they're like 2,000 miles apart, it makes things tough. But they're ready. They're ready for this game.
Yeah, that's good. And it's one of those times in a competition where, last game of the day for both teams. Both teams, I'm sure, would want to finish the first day of this competition off with a bang, with a win, and really sort of try and solidify, the way that they perceive themselves and how they're going to impact this competition. So it'll be really interesting to see these two teams that play, different styles compete in this game, which we've got 30 seconds to go now. You would have just heard the whistle go. I can personally attest to knowing probably a third of the Under-19 Australian women's team. I know they're from all over Australia, from Perth, WA, from Hobart, Tasmania, from Queensland. So we've got 10 seconds to go until this kickoff, and I don't know about you guys back home, but I'm very excited to watch these guys as this game gets underway, Agnes.
Absolutely, it's going to be a great game. Our girls are ready, and I'm hoping we'll surprise you guys a little bit.
Well, I don't think either of these teams are the favourite off the scorecards anyway, because as you said, it's been the first time that the USA Under-19 team has competed at a World Underage Championships, and I don't believe that Australia has had a very consistent showing in Under-19s over the last 4 Worlds anyway. They might have had for the last 1 or 2, but you can see at the moment as the game kicks off, there's a bit of toing and froing from both teams, which is a pretty normal thing in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, Agnes.
Yeah, this is a third game for the USA. Is this second or third game for Australia today? Third also. Okay, so both teams are playing their third game today, and that's that they're obviously, well, hopefully not too tired, but I'm sure that makes a difference in their game too.
Oh, definitely, and I can tell you, after these girls get out of the pool of this game, as the Australians drive a nice drive onto the tray from the left-hand side of the court, across the tray by the looks of it, and well defended by the USA girls initially. The Australian girls are still trying to jostle for position. The puck has gone into the tray, so we're going to wait and see what the referees say as to whether or not they've seen an infringement or if it's going to be a goal. It looks like they're signalling a goal there, Agnes. First goal goes to Australia this time.
And I didn't catch the number.
No, I didn't see the number either, but the Australian girls, doing a very good job of getting one in the tin in the first minute and a half of the game. I'm sure that's probably not what the USA ladies would have wanted, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So plenty more of this game to go before it's going to be obvious who out of these two wonderful teams is going to win this as they come in at the strike again. And the two strikes of the Australian and the USA team are very evenly matched by the looks of how closely they both arrived at the puck then, as the Australians drive to the right-hand side of the court, Agnes, right under the USA bench. So a nice drive by the Aussies, and then a pretty good counter-attack, which is often the way when you drive play under opposition's bench. They basically get a couple of quick subs in, and then a couple of fresh players hit that puck at speed. So the USA had a nice little counter-attack after the initial drive from the Australians, but the play's gone all the way over to the left-hand side of the court, come back into the middle, and the Aussies are just trying to sort of tie up the play a little bit. As the buzzer goes, it looks like the referees have seen the infringement. It looks to be against the Australians this time, Agnes.
Yeah, and I hope the U.S. women, the girls don't get too frazzled by this, by getting scored on immediately. I think they'll recover nicely. And the Aussies obviously play a pretty different style from what their last game was, so they need to adjust their own game.
Yeah, that's right. And as you can see there, the USA ladies took a nice advantage puck and got a good amount of momentum out of that initial drive from the USA player that took that free. The Aussies have just sort of like diverted the momentum of that drive from the USA over to the other side of the court, which is a pretty typical Australian move to make. The referees have again called an infringement on Australia for a gloving foul, so the USA ladies are going to have another crack at a free puck even closer to the attacking tray for them, Agnes.
Yep, so now hopefully, I can't tell who's taking that, but take advantage of that and see what's going on.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I mean, I can tell you that I really like the energy that I think it's the fullback from the USA team is actually putting into taking those free pucks. She's got a nice sort of strong swim as she drives on the line that she's chosen to drive and sort of at the players where the USA, the rest of her team is set up. So the Australians did a good job to defend that free puck, and they're sort of working the left-hand wall of the court now as the USA ladies sort of position back and get into a more defensive mindset and try and stop this drive the Australians have got going right now.
There's a good offense on the USA team. I mean, defense is strong too, but they were able to use their offense more in the last game they played against Great Britain. So it's be definitely shifting gears for them right now, and I think they're certainly getting the advantage calls for them.
Yeah, they are. The refs are definitely calling a few free pucks for the USA team and against the Australian team, which doesn't necessarily mean much at this early stage of the game, but could be an indicator of I guess, some, unfortunately, and again another one against Australia, but unfortunately some of the maybe overly energetic ways that the Australian ladies are trying to get that puck forward and sacrificing or maybe putting themselves into bad positions and making it more likely that the referees are going to call fouls against them. Which, you know, I guess in that case, the USA, credit to the USA team for making the Australian ladies foul so much at the moment.
Yeah, and to stay calm in that, and obviously, looks like the Australians are getting a good strong break there.
Yeah, they're getting a nice little break down the left-hand wall before they switch the play around to the other side of the court. A good swim by the Australians before they sort of funnel that puck in with a nice diagonal pass into the centre channel, and they sort of really put a lot of pressure on the USA team as they hit the goal tray. It's going to be interesting to see if the refs call this a goal for Australia or not. As the buzzer goes up and there's a lot of cheers happening in the crowd, and that's a confirmation that all three referees have called that a goal for Australia. A pretty good drive there by the Australian ladies, Agnes.
That was a really nice one. Keep the USA girls on their toes, and hopefully they'll adjust their game a little bit and start being more effective against those runs.
Yeah, you could sort of see the Australian ladies just driving that left-hand side pretty well, and then basically making a very sort of definitive or deliberate move to come straight across the court with a nice switch. I think it was probably through the forward line or possibly a little bit of the back line, but basically they got the puck to the opposite winger, and she just chewed up a lot of sideways movement, which sort of stretched the structure of the USA team enough to then just funnel it in numbers straight through the centre channel. So well done to the Australian girls at the moment for kind of dictating the play. So where are the USA staying in Hobart at the moment, Agnes?
We're over at the Old Wool Store Apartments within a short walk of the pool, and it's been a really nice place to stay. It works out really well for us, full kitchens and everything, and that that's worked out really well so far. Everything here has gone very smoothly. The organization of the tournament has been spectacular, and housing's good. So we're happy on that front.
Yeah, that's good. It's always important as the USA ladies just drive that left-hand wall and go on a nice little counter-attack sort of period where they do start to take the initiative away from the Australian under-19 ladies while they're sort of got the play right sort of underneath the bench of the Australian girls. So it looks like the under-19 USA team has just sort of picked it up a bit. A nice little diagonal drive. The Australians are sort of driving it on an angle or a wide sort of swim out to the left. They had a USA lady just sort of tag them the whole time, and it's going a bit tit for tat with another Australian swim down the left-hand side. So it looks to me like the USA ladies are sort of starting to get a few more passes together as the Australian ladies drive all the way close to the tray. The buzzer sort of goes. It'll be interesting to see if the refs call this a goal or not, Agnes.
Looks like that was a goal. So, yep, that was well played by the Aussies, and we'll just keep trying.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes, I guess sometimes, that's all you can do is just sort of like weather the storm, do your best, and then just try and get that team game going. I'm sure at some point soon, one of these two teams will call a timeout. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of different effect the coaches, little tidbits of wisdom can have on how these two teams are playing. But the Australians are definitely dictating the play a lot more than the USA under-19 ladies. But I tell you what, I can guarantee you that they are trying their hardest in there. And it's only, sort of 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half. So we've got a full half, or basically another 20 minutes of gameplay to go until this result is decided. So anything can happen in this wondrous game of underwater hockey that we're watching right now.
Well, and since we've got the under-19 women are all playing a double round robin, it'll be interesting too to see all these teams when they meet up again, because I think they'll maybe, certainly U.S. team, I imagine, will be adjusting the way they play, and they'll get some good coaching, and that will be a different story too. So it'll be a good learning experience.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be, double round robins are always tough for the players. The chief referee, Sergio, there from Colombia, has called a subbing foul on the USA team, unfortunately. So Team USA are going to have one player in the bin for a minute for an illegal subbing foul. And which player is number 5 there on the USA team?
That's Jennifer Tom.
So unfortunately, Jennifer's going to have to spend a minute in the bin, which is not what the USA team wants, particularly when they're 3-0 down with 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. But sometimes you've just got to suck that up. Unfortunately, from a player's point of view, subbing fouls are sort of one of those fouls that lead to a player in the bin and are one of those things that teams really don't like to have happen, because it's basically just the fact that the player in the bin just went into the court before their player subbing was actually in the sub bin, Agnes.
Yeah, I couldn't see what happened, but obviously it's unfortunate when that happens, and I think players tend to get sloppy with their subbing, and a call like that sometimes is a little bit of a wake-up, and hopefully it won't happen again, and hopefully it won't affect the play too much. It's only a minute, but that can be a long minute.
Yeah, that's right, but funny odd thing, the USA ladies have just found some extra energy and gone on a really nice drive down the right-hand side of the court, basically against the numerical advantage of the 6 Australian girls that are in the water versus 5 USA ladies. But as we've seen across the whole day today, in this the first day of this competition, most of the time when a team goes down by one player, they actually start to play more aggressively, which is an interesting sort of tidbit. An interesting side note to consider as the Australian ladies set up to defend a free puck against or to the advantage of the USA. I think there's been a timeout called here, Agnes, so it's time for both teams to sort of take stock, take some deep breaths and get ready. Yeah, that's right. And so, I mean, the USA have still got one player down, but it's going to be interesting what they can generate off this advantage puck quite close to the Australian goals. This could really be the opportunity they need to just put one in the tin and get a bit of momentum behind them for this second half.
Yeah, it would be really, really good for them to score this. And even just getting up in there, that's great. I'm sure that's a good feeling for them just to get up in there.
Yeah, that's right. The referees have called another infringement. It's going to be interesting to see which way this goes. I haven't seen the signal. It looks like it's another USA free puck, which is good for the USA girls, and obviously it's keeping the pressure on the Australian girls to continue that quality of defence.
And Jennifer should be back in pretty soon.
Yeah, she's got to be back in the next sort of 15, 20 seconds, I reckon. Now, unfortunately for the USA girls, they've still kind of got the puck on the left-hand side, which is pretty much the easiest place for the Australian ladies to defend. On that wall, sort of with a lot of players in between where the puck is and their defensive goal, the Australians have started to get the momentum again. As you can see, the USA players sort of streaming on the surfaces. The Aussie ladies try and bring it over in some kind of switch movement, but the USA ladies do a really good job. Maybe with the girl that just came in off the sub bench, number 5 for the USA, just sort of hitting the puck and going for a big swim, Agnes.
Certainly, something got them fired up, and that angle that certainly looks like it could have been from the sub.
Yeah, whoever that USA swimmer was definitely had a lot of energy going. So I can definitely see number 5 Cap in there now, swimming on the surface as the Australian ladies sort of drive that puck over. Lose possession of the USA team, drive the puck over to the right into a bit of space, which is nice to see as the play again gets sort of bottled up on that left hand, sort of furthest away from the sub bench side. Yeah, that was a good defensive movement by the USA ladies to just really kind of nullify the drive that the Australian girls had going there and just drive that puck all the way out to sort of underneath their sub bench. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold it there, and the Australian ladies sort of recycled it back into the middle, but it looks like the USA ladies had a good drive, and then they've had a foul called against Australia, so they'll get the advantage puck here again. Get a little chance to take a breather and just sort of set up for another advantage puck with only 35 seconds in this half remaining before they get 3 minutes of rest time. Interestingly enough, the Australian women have scored their goals probably in the first 5 or 7 minutes of this half, and then after that the USA ladies have basically managed to keep the Australian onslaught at bay with a lot of good defence and a lot of good swimming, managed to basically just counteract the drives the Australian ladies have sort of put at them.
Yeah, I think it's just them trying to adjust to the style of play and adjusting to the style of play and adjusting to how the Australians play.
It's half-time called there, but I'll tell you what.
Halftime.
Yeah, the USA ladies in that last 15 seconds had a good drive at the Australian tray, so some good signs going into this half-time for the USA under-19 girls, even though they trail the Australians 3-0. I think that there's a lot of positive things that they can take out of that second 7 minutes in that first half.
Yeah, they seem to definitely get a better idea of what to expect. I think a lot of those first swings and moves, the diagonal drives were catching them a little bit off guard, and they have adjusted. And these Australian teams, it's a tough team. But I think they're doing well.
Yeah, they are doing well. You can see Chris Wenham, the coach there, just giving them some words of wisdom in relation to maybe some tactical level sort of skill sets that he wants them to work on. He's got his hand up. He's got his hand sort of indicating that he's holding a stick, and he's really sort of showing them how he wants them to flick or to hit that puck or throw a swerve. But he's definitely got some pearls of wisdom that he's trying to impart to the girls. Sitting there with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go for the Australian team, that's for sure. And you were talking about this is the third game in a on this the first day of the competition for both these teams, Agnes.
Yeah, I understand it is for both teams. I wasn't sure, but I know for the USA team they played South Africa and Great Britain earlier today, and I'm not sure exactly Australia. I think Colombia, but I'm not sure who the other game was. They played New Zealand and Colombia.
Yeah, so both teams have had some tough games before they met each other in this third game. Can you tell us what kind of diet these girls are going to be having? Like what kind of carbohydrate-rich meals are these girls going to be hooking into after they finish their third game? They're going to be pretty tired tonight.
Well, I really can mostly speak for my girls, but it's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a lot of food. I'm sure they'll be pushing the carbohydrates to get refueled after such a day.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean,
get a lot of rest.
Yeah, they're basically just going to fill their heads full of carbs and then pass out for the night, right? Getting ready for tomorrow.
Pretty close. Yeah, they only have 2 games tomorrow, so that'll probably seem like a vacation.
There's the 30-second whistle blown by the chief ref out of water. It indicates that the second half is about to begin. And I guess just more on that diet of the athletes. I know that a lot of athletes usually have a very carb-rich diet through the competition, and they normally have a little bit of comfort, morale food that they like to hook into, whether or not that's half a block of chocolate. I can personally recommend some Old Gold, which is a very nice Cadbury chocolate that I normally hook into during competition time. As all the girls kick off the wall, as that big dolphin kick, USA lady just comes in and really hits that puck hard as the play drives out to the left-hand side of the USA court there, Agnes. The Australians are coming back on the left-hand side though, immediately, and a nice sort of drive through the centre channel. No real clear possession with either team at the moment, as the USA ladies get a fresh sub in and the Australian ladies drive the puck down their right-hand attacking side pretty much all the way to the corner. The USA doing a good job of just sort of like containing that puck there and making sure that the Australian ladies don't get to bring it off the wall too much and bring it into the centre of the court. The referees have seen the infringement and they're going to give this advantaged puck to the USA girls this time, Agnes.
Not the men's fully realize that they need to be a bit nervous about those swings, and they are trying to push the Australian girls back to the wall, and we'll see how that works for them in the second half.
Yeah, that's right. So is this your first time visiting Hobart, Agnes?
It is, yes, it is for all of us.
Yeah, cool. And I know you're staying at the Wool Store. You just mentioned that before, and that's obviously right at the wharf area at the very sort of bottom of the Hobart City, right on the river there. Have you guys gone for any nice walks around that area? Anything that you think's worth mentioning for the people that could come and visit Tassie in the future?
Well, unfortunately, my son is playing in the under 23s, and I'm managing them, and my girls are playing in this, and I haven't seen much of Hobart besides the pool and the hotel and the grocery store.
Oh, okay. So you're basically you're managing a whole bunch of very young athletes that are all very hungry and have got a lot of requirements.
Yeah, the under 23 boys, it's kind of amazing how much food they can put away. And,
so the USA ladies have just gone on a really nice drive down their right-hand side. They've got the puck in a really good position to have a proper crack at scoring against the Australian under-19s team. But unfortunately for the USA girls, the Aussie lasses just sort of drive it out to the safety of the wall and right underneath their sub-bench now, which is probably going to allow them to get some very fresh players into the water. As you can see, one Australian jump into the court off a sub, and not surprisingly they get a bit of a run on now, even though the ref has seen a foul and is going to call up an advantage to one of the two teams. He's pointing at someone, he's saying they've chopped, and that's a warning for that player. He hasn't actually indicated which team it's for and which team it's against, so interesting to see. By the looks of it, it looks like the Australians are setting up for the advantage, so that was against the USA teams that time, Agnes.
Neither, but obviously they've got that advantage, and Australia takes it right.
I tell you what, it was a nice drive by the USA ladies to get it all the way down, basically right to the corner of the Australian defensive tray.
Oh, that looks like it.
It looks like even though we didn't have the angle right on the camera there, we had the surface camera, but the unfortunately for the USA ladies, the Australian ladies have just managed to get a bit of a breakaway going and put a quick goal in. So it's 4-0, Australian leading the USA in the under-19 women's division with 11 and a half minutes remaining, Agnes.
Yeah, was that? I mean, that might have been the first advantage puck that that Australia had. I think the USA team maybe just didn't play that disadvantage quite the way they should have. But I couldn't see what happened. It happened so quickly
that it almost seemed like the USA ladies weren't ready for that advantage puck to go, or maybe the Australian girls. It's a shame we didn't have the underwater camera going, but maybe they had some kind of set play that they just executed perfectly. But either way, Australia leads USA now 4-0 with just under 11 minutes remaining in the second half. I think what we could basically call a very well-fought game so far. Like, yes, Australia are leading 4-0, but the USA ladies have definitely put in a good showing up until this point.
Yeah, they're clearly the Australian team is stronger, but the USA team is getting the experience, and they're making some good plays. And if they, the mistakes like off of that disadvantage puck, if they can cut back on those, that'll look better. It looks like they have the advantage again.
Yeah, that's right. The refs have seen a foul, and they've given advantage to against the Australian girls and for the USA girls. So you can see there the USA girls setting up in a line of three, right on the line of the of where the referees are pushing the Australian ladies back. And for those of you at home that aren't used to watching underwater hockey that much, what happens on a free puck is the puck is placed where the infringement occurred, or on that line inside of the wall by about 2 to 3 metres, I think. And then the referees will push back the infringing team 3 metres behind where the puck is and set up a line. And the defensive team cannot cross that line until the attacking team take the puck. So if you've been wondering how those free pucks work, which is exactly how this puck just worked then, once the USA lady touched that puck, the Australians could break through the line the referees had set up and then basically engage the attacking team. So the Australians looked like they were counter-attacking off a USA free puck, but by the looks of it now, right underneath the USA sub-bench, it's anyone's game as the Australian ladies stream forward towards the tray, Agnes.
Yeah, and that's... job at not letting the USA get much of an advantage off of their advantage pucks. Nice drive to the side there.
Yeah, that's right. They are doing a reasonable job of controlling those advantage pucks that the USA have had quite a lot of in this game so far. Interestingly enough, there haven't really been many, if any, kickouts this game so far. Would I be right, or have I just not been paying attention?
No, I think that is true. And I think the USA against Great Britain had several of those. It is interesting that it's not happening here.
Yeah, so the refs have caught another infringement against Australia for obstruction there. We're having 2 Australian girls just quickly sub, which is a dangerous time when there's a free puck in your defensive half. Often what that means is they can't get back into position in time prior to the USA taking the puck. So it'll be interesting to see once we flick back to the underwater shot there, if we can see if the USA have actually managed to take advantage of that. It doesn't look like it because the Australians just managed to drive them back out into the centre of the court. And another referee call against the USA girls this time. The referee is making sure that the player that infringed understands that they had a stick infringement or a chopping foul. It looks like the Australians are going to get...
Team warning?
Yeah, maybe. I think they were pointing at the specific player though, so it could have been a team warning. It's a bit hard to see. As the Australian girls take that puck there and they pretty much flick and drive that puck straight into their attacking 3 that was set up in the structure of the USA defence. You can see them driving that centre channel, just trying to get numbers around the puck. They're definitely close enough to the tray at the moment to sort of have a crack at scoring a goal. The USA girls do a good job of just defending them out to the corner there, Agnes.
Yeah, and they had a lot of bodies down, and on both teams, so that's good. You can always like to see that. something we're always battling with all the teams. And then moving it away from that goal. Even sometimes when you have to go across the goal, it's better to clear it away from the danger zone.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, as you can see right now, the USA ladies have just had a really nice passage of play where they've put a lot of pressure on the Australian girls on that left-hand side of the court. The puck's come back in the middle, and the Aussies have got the puck right now with a couple of good passes linked up. But the USA team, particularly their defensive players, have just re-engaged those Australian attackers and just sort of managed to take that puck back out to the side as there's a referee call that's gone, and an Australian player has been sent to the bin. I'm not quite sure what that's for, but that's number 10.
Caitlin Parr.
So that's Caitlin for the Australian under-19 team. Is going to spend at least a minute in the bin now, which is a really good advantage for the USA ladies to try and capitalise on, Agnes.
Let's hope they can take it. They can.
The referee, I think, is calling breaking on the USA team, so I don't really understand that because it was there. No, it must have been on the Australian team, maybe. So Caitlin Parr is sitting in the sin bin. I'm not sure which team was actually given the advantage puck, but it's an equal puck now, so both teams will have an even crack at controlling the play as the two centres get to the bottom as quickly as they can once that buzzer goes. And if we just flick to the underwater camera right now so we could see what's going on in the game. There we go. The USA team is driving the right-hand side right underneath the Australian sub-bench on a good drive as the Australian girls stream back to try and cut down that attacking play by the USA, Agnes. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it is 4-0, but the USA ladies have generally been able to counteract a lot of the Australian initiated attacks on their trade, and they've also been able to contain the Australian girls on that far side wall for a long period of time in this second half. So, I'm sure the Australian girls are trying to take that puck off that wall because Australia definitely does not like the puck on any wall for long periods of time, but credit to the USA ladies that they have definitely managed to contain that sideways movement the Australians love so much.
Yeah, and they're containing, of course, the first step, and then they need to move it up the pool too, not just contain it, but hopefully they'll be getting there. They're definitely seem a little bit more in control of the game now than they were earlier in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. You see like the bird's eye view of one of the cameras there above the pool. It's a really nice way of just sort of getting a good appreciation of just how big that court is for these ladies. These courts are 25 metres long by 15 metres wide for those of you at home. They're 2 metres deep. So basically you have to swim at least 2 metres to get to the play, and then any kind of diagonal angle you swim from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom increases the distance you've got to swim to even get to where the play is being carried out. So a lot of these girls are working at sort of 80-90% of their max effort all the time. You really have to get that equation right for when they're on the bottom, when they're on the surface, and particularly in relation to what position they're playing and what the rest of their team is doing, Agnes.
To do all the work, and if the
Yeah, that's right, and that's why it's so good when you see a lot of these younger players just sort of come out to these elite junior competitions and really sort of test their mettle and learn a lot of good lessons that they can take forward and sort of utilise as they grow into the sport and as they get more and more experienced. As you see, one of the Australian backs there just do a lot of really good basic possession work to just sort of rip that curl and drive that puck back into sort of the waiting Australian forwards on a good counter-attack. USA managed to cut down their first swim, but they're taken all the way to the corner of their tray before they managed to clear the puck over to, again, that left-hand side for them, Agnes.
They lost a lot of ground there, and that was just, I think, the USA girls were just a little bit too far apart, allowing the Australians to go right in between, and that's something hopefully they'll be able to read a little better as they keep playing these games. That you need to be closer. They were both down there. They just weren't quite close enough together.
Yeah, that's right. A good double team there by the USA ladies. One on either side of that Australian attacker as she was trying to get possession of the puck and basically just sort of had nowhere to go. The referees pulled up a foul, and I think the USA team have got the advantage this time as we go into the last 2 minutes of this game with the Australians leading 4-0 to the US. I'm sure the USA ladies are going to swim this game all the way out, though.
No, I don't think they're going to be giving up, and really keeping it 4-0. I think they'll probably be quite happy with that. You never know when you're playing Australia. I've seen a lot more painful games than this.
Yeah, well, it's gone both ways for Australia over the years. So, I'm sure the Australian ladies would take stock of this game as well. I mean, obviously they're not going to be happy if they let the USA score in the last minute and a bit of the game, but then at the same time, they just really can't afford to take their foot off the pedal. Like a lot of the coaches and a lot of basic gameplay, particularly in the last part of a game like this, in the last sort of couple of minutes, you really don't want to stop attacking and start defending too much, because you can just inadvertently kind of, just like any other team sport, sort of put yourself in the zone where you allow a team that's got a run on to just sort of have another crack at the goals in that last minute, Agnes.
Absolutely, and they just don't want to let their guard down, because they're going to have to be playing these teams again. They have games tomorrow. They don't want to, even if there's no chance of tying this game up in any way, the last few minutes are probably more important, just to set you up for your next game.
Yeah, that's right. The USA girls are getting a really good drive and a lot of passes, a lot of sort of linked up passages of play there to drive the Australian ladies all the way back to their back sort of right-hand defensive wall. Aussie girls sort of want that puck in the corner, as you can see the referee getting squeezed in the last 5 seconds of this game as the USA ladies desperately try and get it out of there for a last crack at the goals. But unfortunately for them, the time has run out, and that is time signalled by the referee. So congratulations to the Australian under-19 ladies for a very hard-fought win against the USA under-19 ladies. They won that game 4-0, congratulations to the Aussies, but commiserations, and obviously a well-fought game for the USA, Agnes.
Yeah, congratulations to the Aussies. Certainly, it was a well-played game on both parts, and I think for the USA girls have nothing to hang their head about. They played a good game and gave it their best shot, and the Aussies were the stronger team this time, but we've got one more game to go, at least.
Yeah, that's right. It is a double round robin, and these two teams will see each other again in the double round robin before they even hit the final series. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they line up in that second game, because it definitely was not a definitive win by the Australian women's team. They certainly sort of were the more consistent team during the game today, but I reckon the USA ladies have definitely got a few tricks up their sleeve for the next time these two teams meet, Agnes.
I certainly hope so. I think so. They've got a lot of talent on, both teams, obviously a lot of talent on there, and it's a learning experience. I think we've got one player with world experience on the under-19 girls team, and the rest of them are all going to learn. It'll be a different team by the end of this tournament.
Yeah, that's right. It's really nice to see both teams making sure that they shake the hands of the referees as well. Much like other sports, there is a pretty big focus on sportsmanship in underwater hockey. And it's very nice to see all of the players shaking all the hands of the referees. Because either, it doesn't matter if you agree with the referee's calls or not, you've got to remember that they're always doing their best and they're always calling the game as they see it. So it's great to see that those players are making sure the refs know that they're appreciated, even if they are gritting their teeth while they're shaking their head.
No, absolutely. I mean, playing a game with bad reffing, we've all been through that, and it's no fun.
We'll just go to the Glory Days couch now where Nick Martin is about to have a chat to one of the USA players.
And joining me on the couch here at Court 1, the USA vice captain from the looks of it, the number 6, Kenya Lamb. Kenya, tough game there against the Aussies?
Oh, yeah. We definitely did a lot more swimming, and they were really good at swings. So that was a tough game.
Have you played much against the swing play before? It's obviously a very Australian thing.
This is only our third game of the tournament, so not really.
And I've got the number 10 from the Australian team here. Do you want to let the audience out there know what it was like to play the USA girls? First time we've had a USA women's team at a junior tournament.
It was hard. They're really, really fast on the puck, and they're amazing, like, with their strength on the puck. It was fun.
Some good props there from the Australian girls. 4-0, really tight game. Coming into this game, expectations playing against Australia?
We heard that they were good at the swings, so we were kind of looking out for that, and they are.
And it's been a big day for you guys. I think the Australians have played 3 games, and USA, have you played 2 or 3 today? 3 games. It's pretty rare to play 3 games at Worlds. How are the legs feeling after 3 games?
Very tired.
Exhausted.
And do you guys have to back it up again tomorrow? 2-game day tomorrow?
Yeah, we have 2 games tomorrow as well.
No, we only have 1 game.
Maybe the draw's rigged, except it was done by a Kiwi, so maybe not. Now, the tournament, another 5 days of round robin. Who are you looking forward to playing?
The Colombian women's team.
South Africa.
It's staying in the Southern Hemisphere. Not looking forward to any of the European teams?
I don't know yet.
I'm from South Africa, so I really want to play them.
It's the home grudge match. Well, thanks for joining me on the couch. Congratulations to the Australian girls. Bad luck. Thank you very much for coming, though. Have you got a message for the USA fans out there?
If you're watching, I think it's probably 2 a.m. there, but if you are, thank you so much.
Oh, well, congratulations on your on coming over and getting in the pool today. Message for the Aussies?
Thank you so much for all the support that you've given us, like the crowd in the stands. It was amazing.
Excellent. Well done, girls. Well done on making it through 3 games. I know it's a very taxing thing, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, girls.